just exhausted.
Oh no. Do you need another vacation?
Always need a vacation. Always.
I
Um,
know, right?
yeah, I just couldn't sleep starting like Wednesday night, and then we were hosting my husband's sister's baby shower Sunday. So it was
Oh,
just a lot going on. So by Monday, I was like, I'm done. I'm exhausted.
well, how did the baby shower go?
It was good. It was beautiful. She was excited. So mission
Oh,
accomplished.
nice. What is she having?
A little girl.
Oh, is this her first?
Yeah.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
always the special ones, the first one.
It was funny yesterday. She was like, I need questions for my hospital tour. And I did my birthing plan. And I'm like, just throw it out. Like, it doesn't matter. Just throw it out. What you plan does
A
not matter.
birthing plan. That's cute.
I was like, okay.
Because nothing ever goes according to
I
plan.
know. I was like, you
Like
just show up.
it exactly, because the baby's gonna take over the show. So
Yeah.
that baby has a plan of her own. So
Yep. I told her the most important was just to make sure she has a conversation with her husband before so he can advocate for her because she's going to be exhausted. But I
yeah.
was like, other than that, I don't have any questions. Nothing else.
Oh my God. My child is 32. So, but I can remember that day like it was yesterday,
Yep.
but that has been 32 years ago. But yeah, yeah, I was 7 days overdue. I went in for an ultrasound actually. It was like, oh no, you're gonna have the baby. I'm like, wait, what? What's happening? Even though it's like, okay, you're 7 days overdue, but
I know.
I just had a regular doctor's appointment. I was just gonna let the baby do what
That
she,
was, yep, same.
and
Yeah.
then like 11 hours later, it's like, oh, she's here. Yeah, yeah. So, how do you feel about the budget this month and the debt planning that you did? By the way, your Excel sheet was chef's kiss. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? A go-getter. Like, I
Yeah.
love how you had it structured, broken down. Like, you did that. What a
Thank
way
you.
to take the bull by the horn and say, you know what? I'm about to make this happen. So kudos to you for that. Like,
Thank you.
good job. Good job.
I think we're doing well so far. For September, I did have to switch some things around. Um, we're s- I still have to call like an internet company. I keep forgetting because the like one of the bills is going up, so I'm trying to even it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but overall, we're doing well. We did transfer one of the credit cards, the Capital One, to the new city because it had a 0%.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's taken care of. And I think his payment will be lower. So we're almost done with Apple, maybe 2 more months.
Yeah, it'll be done in what, November?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told him I'm waiting for some refunds on certain things I had to return. So even that money when we get back, I'll probably put to the credit card. So that one should be done quickly.
Nice.
But I
Nice.
think we're on track.
Awesome. Awesome. Because I know from last month, you had to make some adjustments, I think, with
Yeah.
groceries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How's that? Is that tracking better now?
I just put more money. Let me look at it. I think it's better is that these kids eat so much.
They do. That's always going to be the case for
I
sure.
know. It's like you just ate three snacks and now you want dinner. Oh my
And then you
God.
have boys, right? You have boys.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
a
and
house full of boys.
boys can eat, especially as they're growing, like they can throw down.
Yeah, I think what we budgeted so far is good
Oh,
because
nice.
we have three, what, one, yeah, we should be fine. We have 3 more weeks that we usually do groceries for, and I still have half the budget.
Oh, that is awesome. And what about the shower repair? When does that begin and how long would that take?
So they ordered the bottom part, I forgot what it's called, the pan or something like that. Um, so once that comes in, because it's a custom size, then they're gonna start. So they're just waiting for that, but they have all the other materials. So I would say maybe another 2 weeks, 2, 3 weeks.
Mm. So how long does like once they get the tub, once they get all the
Yeah,
supplies and everything, how long does the actual install and everything take?
a day or two.
Oh, that's quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's really fast. Oh, that's awesome. So you can, that's awesome. Are you doing the whole bathroom or is it just the shower?
Just the shower.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was my main concern. So they did explain to me because of the way my mom's partner did the shower, because he was trying to help. He does do well on other things, but this was his first major bathroom renovation, and the base is not, it gives way every time we get in the shower. So that's why everything is cracking.
Oh no.
Because it shakes everything else, and that's why the grout is breaking. So I'm like, just do
Um,
the whole thing, please. So I don't want to have to worry about this again. I'd rather do it professionally than
Yeah,
someone like him come say they did it, and then the same thing happens.
for sure. Did you have to do any mold remediation to make sure there's no like, mold damage as a result of?
Right now, so far, so good. Um,
Okay.
yeah, my brother came to look at everything because he has his own construction company, but he does commercial. So he doesn't have anyone to come do the house. Um, but he put grout where it was starting to come off, so that should help us until they come. So I'm like, if it comes off again, I'll just call him.
Yeah.
But that was just a quick fix.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You have one bathroom or two?
We have two.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. You have another
Yeah, just in
bathroom
case.
that you can use. That's awesome. The reason I was asking too, because I have a half bathroom in one of these properties, one of my rental properties, and I want to turn it into a full bath. So I was just
Yeah.
curious, like turnaround times for installing a shower, what that looks like. So that's good to know that once they get everything, it's not that long actually.
No, a lot of the I spoke to two other companies and they said install was about a day or two.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. That's pretty good. Okay, today we're going to review your debt elimination plan and the worksheet that you've done and begin the conversation of wealth building because that's the progression that you're going to be on, right? So you're in the first step towards achieving financial freedom, which is eliminating high interest debt, which you were able to get to 0%, but we all know there's a time limit on that too as
Yeah.
well. That's amazing to be able to optimize this time while you're paying down your debt and not having to pay
Correct.
additional interest on it because that's going to save you money while you're working on this plan. And obviously, as you're going along, you're going to be knocking these things out. I definitely want to encourage you to definitely celebrate the win. So when November come, make sure you celebrate that Apple is paid off and you're one step closer to becoming financially free. And so I know on your worksheet you have the tiers and everything, but I would, if you could put somewhere highlight like Apple paid off November 2025, some type of way, or on a separate cards or something,
Mhm.
so you can see as you're doing this, as you're going, because that's why they call it the snowball,
Okay.
because you're building momentum, but that's also motivating too. You're getting momentum and you're getting motivation. You're like, oh, this one's down, let's move on to the
Yes.
next one. So I would definitely highlight the box, highlight the date, whatever. Like that would be the only thing I would add to your worksheet is to highlight that
Okay.
payoff day or big bold somewhere on that sheet
Okay.
to kind of put those dates as they come. Just kind of put those out there for each debt payoff. So Apple, I know City is now, no, Capital One is it Capital One is now to the city? So
Yeah.
City, and then you have the
So it'll be city and city.
City and City, then Shower, and then the
Yeah.
mortgage payoff. So each one I would put what their payoff dates is or
Okay.
highlight it somewhere for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And then let me share my screen. Do you have any questions for me before we start this?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think so.
Let me share my screen. I swear I have on glasses and I still can't see. Like, I don't know what that's about, but struggle. And okay, I don't want that. Sorry. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And so, like I was saying, the natural progression ultimately, once all the debt is paid off, that amount that you were paying to someone else, you can now pay that toward to yourself and
Mhm.
then shift to a fully funded emergency fund. Because I know right now it's the thousand until the debt is paid off. And then whatever your fully funded emergency fund would be minimally 3 months. But it's really up to you in terms of what you want to establish, what makes you and your household feel comfortable. So it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, but whatever that is, the same way you going through the debt elimination plan, that is then the next step in terms of, okay, how much, that I think at the end of your debt snowball, you have like what, 2,300 and something dollars, I believe, that is like being paid towards debt. And so whatever that amount is, then figuring out, what's 3 months of living expenses or whatever your number
Yeah.
is. Let's just use 3 months, for example. Whatever that 3 month number is, I think we came up with it. I can't remember what it was, but whatever that 3 month number is, how long would it take if you paid yourself that amount, that 2,000 something dollars to get to that goal? So, and
Okay.
then that would be the next step in the journey, and then ultimately being able to then create a wealth building plan where now your money is working for you, because it doesn't make sense to just save money perpetually, right? Because most savings accounts are less than 2%. And
Yeah.
so after that, it becomes, okay, how can I grow my money? Now, you don't necessarily have to wait to be able to come up with ways to grow your money,
Mhm.
but I highly, 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 highly encourage that whatever resources and whatever extra monies you have is to eliminate that debt because of how much interest rate is. And,
Yeah.
the 23% or whatever it would normally be, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I definitely encourage you to take advantage of that low interest rate. But the time frame I think is 2029 is when you will be completely financially free, which is 4 years from now. But there's so many things that can happen in 4 years. So there
Yeah.
is very well a possibility that the debt could be paid off sooner. There may be opportunities where your income is going to increase. There may be opportunities where you get to start looking at opportunities to invest and figuring out what that looks like. Because it's a possibility, if the opportunity is there, is that this can help you become financially free even quicker. If the numbers look good, if the opportunity looks good, if the risk is equal to the reward that you want without taking you outside of this financial freedom journey. You know what I mean? It has to make sense for the journey.
Yes.
And so this is just a recap of the debt elimination plan that you have with the Apple Card being paid off in November of this year. So, like I said, make sure you celebrate that win, because that's going to be a big deal for you and that's going to come up very quickly. Keep the momentum, keep the
Yeah.
motivation, and then the next card, I have Capital One here, but it's City, Chase,
Yeah.
using the debt snowball method, and then moving over to it'll be the
The
shower
power and then the
and
mortgage.
then the
Yeah.
second mortgage, because you added that shower repair on
Yeah.
there. So um again, keeping the momentum, making sure you remind yourself. Did you have an opportunity to write that debt-free letter to yourself?
I did. It's actually here.
Ooh,
And I
I
taped it.
I love that. How was that process for you? How did that feel?
It's good. get yourself excited to open it later and be like, okay, I actually did it.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that for you. And for your family and for the future of what you guys want to
Mhm.
build and the legacy you want to leave for your boys, you know? And so obviously the strategy is the debt snowball from smallest to largest. Your projected credit card payoff. So all your credit cards we pay off in 2027, which is less than 2 years. March 2027 is less than 2 years. The home repair is 2028, February of 2028. And then the second mortgage is June 2029. And
Mhm.
so financial freedom, where you can open your letter and scream, I'm financially free June 2029 and or sooner, you
Yeah.
know, or sooner. Because the thing is now you have a plan. You
Mhm.
have a very clear strategy that even because life gon' life, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, look, the shower thing came up, like life gon' life, but at least when life, you're like, oh, well, okay, let's pause, let's see where we are. Let's see where we need to make the adjustments. Let's see where we can add this life event into a plan that we already have that doesn't detour us from the vision, from the bigger picture. Because imagine if you didn't have a plan, most of the time we're just reacting. Most of the time, like,
Right.
oh, okay, I'll just get the shower fixed or the carpet there. I'll just get the car fixed. Not really having a clear vision and plan for what you want in life. And it
Yeah.
also helps you stay focused too and keeping the main thing. It's like, okay, is this more important than me getting out of debt? Is this more important than the future I'm trying to create? If it is as important, then it's like, okay, how do I fit it into my already strategy, already plan? So and when you do things like this, when you shift your mindset, when you take action, when you create a plan of action, you're now proactive versus reactive. And
Yeah.
that makes you feel better. It makes you, even though you have debt, you still probably can sleep better at night knowing that, oh, it's just a matter of time I'll be debt free. Listen, two,
Mhm.
3 years go by quick.
It does.
Like if you think about it, the pandemic started 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a blink of an eye. Like it doesn't, it's crazy when you think about that was like 5 years ago. That felt like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's true.
So time is going to pass us by, but the reality is, what are we going to do with the time we have?
Yeah.
So again, just constantly reminding yourself, sticking to the plan and staying focused, all while also to living the life that you want to live. Because just because you're budgeting, just because you have a debt elimination plan, doesn't mean you can't allocate for things like vacation. You can't allocate
Yeah.
for special occasions. You just have to look at the budget. And like you said, you had a situation come up where a bill is going up. So now you're like, okay, well, what can come down? Like,
This is too much.
but you're in control of that. So it doesn't
Mhm.
mean that you have to have this restrictive life, but what it means is that, oh, how do I plan for the things that I want? How do I make the adjustments? Where do I cut back? Because always, even with our financial planning, it's very simple. It's, when it comes to how do you get more residual income or leftover money after the bills are paid, is either you increase your income or you decrease your expenses.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. That's how you have money left over. And once, and as you're eliminating the debt, that's going to increase your residual income too, because that's going to have more money that's, allocated for you versus going to someone else. And so even during this time frame, you can begin asking yourself, okay, well, where are some opportunities to increase income? Where are some opportunities to decrease expenses? And as you're going through these 4 years, just brainstorming that as you go, especially as an entrepreneur, but at least even as an entrepreneur with your monthly budgeting planning, you can then start doing averages. Like, oh, okay, what am I averaging? What's the average of my income? What's the
Yeah.
average of my expenses? So the numbers will get clearer and clearer for you as you do this more consistently. And so, and that's more or less the transitioning to the wealth building aspect of this, because right now we're in the financial freedom debt elimination, but
Yeah.
what does that transition to wealth building look like? And so you and your budget to see where you can find some extra money. Also, in this 4 years, this would be a perfect time to start educating yourself on potential opportunities for investing.
Yeah.
Because I always tell my clients, never invest in something that you don't understand.
Correct.
And
Mhm.
so this is a great opportunity to start exploring education and learning, just like a 4 year degree. Just like if you went to college and you got a 4 year degree and you're learning how to do something. In 4 years, you'll be ready to graduate, your debt be eliminated, and you're ready to strike. And you have the understanding and the knowledge and the surplus to be able to make that happen. And so we already talked about building that starter. Well, you already have, I should say, a starter emergency fund, right?
Yes.
That's already established, already complete. I've already talked about if something comes up, if an emergency comes up, you take it out and then you put it back. You just budget like, oh, I had to take out 500. Let me put the 500 back and
Yeah.
keep it moving. It's okay. It's so funny when I got to my fully funded emergency fund, when emergencies happen, I
You
didn't
don't
want to
have
touch it.
it. Yeah. That was my husband. I was telling him, like, that's what it's for.
It's such the psychological thing
I think
that
it's the word
happens.
emergency. He's so funny. He's like, that's our emergency fund. And I'm like, I know.
Emergency.
That's what it's there for.
But it's something about it. And I still struggle with that today. But I remind myself, like, that's what it's there for, like you said. And you can always replenish it. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't know what that is. You get just even that number, it creates this security blanket. It creates this
Yeah.
sense of protection. And if it moves or go down, you're like,
Uh-huh. It's true.
it's like I need an emergency to the emergency fund. Like I need
Ay, ay, ay.
an account that just stays the same and then another one to support that. It's weird, right?
Mhm.
We don't, but that's the psychological part of it.
Yeah.
Now, do you currently have, you or your husband have retirement funds that you're contributing to?
I'm not contributing, but I do have one open
Okay.
with a broker, and it is growing still without me actually
Contribute.
contributing. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you have something in place and
Yeah,
taking advantage
it's
of it. Yeah.
I want to say it's like 93K right now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Is
so that's why I'm like, I've already invested a lot. Let it just grow for now. And he's pretty good at what he's doing. Like in 1 month, he got me 3,000. So I'm like, I don't need
Oh,
to.
that's great. That
Yeah, I'm
that
not gonna give you nothing right now. I'll give it.
work with what you got, sir.
Yeah.
And so that's a
I
beautiful thing that you have that wealth building working in the background
yeah.
as well without even having to contribute to it. So,
Yeah. I think I'm going to because I have I'm not sure if you've heard of it in the well, maybe it is on other states, but the Florida savings, like the 529 for my son.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't see it really moving, so I think I'm going to take that money and put it with my broker and have him do something because I'm like, I've
Yeah.
been doing this since he was one and it's not really
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And just because I think what happens, we see things and it's like, oh, a college plan, great, because that's the title of it, right?
Yeah,
But
but
there's many ways that we can grow and save money for college.
yeah. I'm like, and this kid, he's in kindergarten now. I'm like, the way this is going, I don't know what's happening
Yes.
in college.
Yeah, you could even look. I don't know if you had the opportunity to look into custodial accounts as well.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I want to look at.
yeah, ask your
Mhm.
broker about custodial accounts that you can start investing in that account for him. And I forget the age where they can um cash out on that. And I think it kind of avoids the penalty because it kind of switches over to them. They can continue to grow or something. I forget the specific of it, but I would definitely look into starting a custodial account. Again, perfect opportunity and time to learn about investing. And I know when we talked at the beginning, you want to eventually get into real estate
Yeah, I
investing.
signed up for your live
Oh, the
on.
mastermind. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I did that and I told my best friend, she registered too, 'cause she's the realtor in New York.
Yes. Oh, awesome.
We'll both be
Awesome.
there. Yeah.
Yes. I was going to tell you that. I was like, make sure I wasn't sure if you saw it or not. Like,
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure you signed up for my free mastermind on, and it's really because really 90 minutes is not enough time to really dive
Yeah.
deep, but
Mhm.
it's the opportunity for me to introduce to people information on how you can invest in real estate with little money or little knowledge, little experience outside of traditional
Yeah.
funding, right? Especially as entrepreneurs, we don't have constant income coming in or a steady paycheck. So it's like, well, most banks look at us and be like, we don't necessarily fit into that box. So,
Right.
what are your other options when it comes to financing and funding real estate deal? And once I got into real estate and learned about real estate investing and creative financing, that just blew my mind. Like that, my first couple of properties that I was able to get them without having to go through a bank. I was able to get them without having to show a tax statement or a pay stub. Like that really blew my mind, the possibility. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. It's more or less an
Okay.
introduction
Yeah.
into it because the reality is I didn't even know it was possible. So
I
I'm
feel like
just,
we know that it is, but we don't know how to get there. So that's why I was like,
yes.
forward, here you go.
Yes, absolutely. So at least it's an opportunity to know what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much for sharing that. And I definitely was going to bring that up to you. And then setting your short-term and long-term wealth goals. And I know these are things that we talked about before in terms of what your financial goals are. And I know for you is the real estate is travel. And so setting those goals, but again, imagining what your life would look like and even creating those realities, even in the journey. I
Yeah.
always tell people there's joy in the journey. I know we are like hell bent on the destination, like North Star, eye on the prize,
Mhm.
but enjoy the journey as well. Enjoy the learning, enjoy the setbacks, enjoy the growth, because all of this is going to be a part of your developing who you become. And um, John, what's his name? Jim Ron, he has this thing that he says. He was like, set a goal to become a millionaire, not for what you get out of it, not for the millions that you're going to get, but who you become as a result of setting that kind of goal. Because obviously, when you set something that may be so far out your comfort zone, or maybe not that far outside your comfort zone, it has the ability to stretch you. It has the ability for you to open your eyes and see things that you may not even seen before,
Mhm.
but the person you have to become is really the beautiful part about all of this.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And so the next steps, something in my eye, sorry.
You're fine.
The next step in our upcoming session is you've done the letter. Great job. Wasn't sure if that was done or not, but you've done the letter. Kudos to you. Like I said, that worksheet, like you are, I love your energy. Some
Thank
people
you.
need a little bit more hand holding than others, but
Uh-huh.
you're a Gemini.
Yeah, no.
This is
Set a goal and we get it. And
once we set
my
our
best
mind to
friend,
it.
yeah, she's a Gemini too, so that's why here's a podcast, here we're switching information. We have these goals and we're gonna meet them.
And I love that you have someone that is like-minded and like-driven that you can go on this journey with. Because that's another
Yeah,
important thing too. Because sometimes in these journeys that we create, especially if some people around us don't necessarily have the same mindset or they can care less
right.
about their finances. And when you're
Yeah.
talking about financial freedom, like they may dismiss it or they may even make fun of you. Who knows? I remember when I was on my journey and I was doing the envelope system and I had my money separated out. And I remember I went to New York with my cousin and we're in the store and I'm like with my little envelopes trying to figure out what I got. And she clowned me. She was like, "Oh my God, why are you doing that? Like, we're gonna die. You might as well live your best life." And
That's
like,
wild. Yeah.
she went in on me. And I did feel a little bad in that moment, but I didn't let that distract me or deter me because right now I'm living an amazing life where I could do what I want, whenever I want. And she now is most of our conversations like, man, I wish I had more money. I wish, or I'm struggling with this, or I'm struggling that. And you know what? I don't say nothing. I just like, okay, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Should have had your envelopes.
exactly. Life short, right? You know,
Yeah.
but I say all that to say that I'm glad that you have somebody that gets it, that you can bounce ideas off of, that you know, even beyond our coaching, you still have that support because that is important, to surround yourself with like-minded, like-driven people that
Yeah,
is on the same wavelength as you, because it just makes for a better journey.
it does. It does.
Makes for a better journey. And so I also have on here the Fine Fun clothes. So you listen, you you're knocking it out. You're knocking it out the box, which is in about 2 weeks, September 25th. And after that class, I'm going to have an invitation or an invite because I have this group coaching that I do once a year towards the end of the year for
Okay.
people to help them on their real estate journey if they're ready to pull the trigger to go to dive deeper. And so there will be an invitation at the end of that mastermind to join my group coaching. October 2nd, I believe, is when that starts. But I always have these classes and opportunities for people because I always tell people, I say I give away way more than I charge for because this is something that I'm extremely passionate about. And I know what financial freedom has done for me. And so in my family and my, you know, my daughter and my granddaughter.
Mhm.
So this is something that I'll be screaming to the top of my lungs for as long as I can. So also, if you have any questions for our next session, which our next session, we are going to start talking about the wealth creation strategy. Because
Okay.
right now, and it's obviously for the future, right?
Yeah.
For the future, but it definitely doesn't hurt for us to start thinking about what those next steps look like while
Okay.
you're on the journey. And
Okay.
so that's what we will focus on. Obviously, I want you to continue on with your with the budgeting and the tracking and you know what I talked about, adding those dates and highlighting the
Yeah.
payoffs for the credit cards and things of that nature.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yes, yes. Do you have any questions for me?
Um, I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I feel like I did have one, but before, and I think I just forgot. Um, I don't think so. If I remember, I will text you.
Okay, okay. And I'm not sure if I shared this with you because this is pretty much the framework for our coaching sessions. And it's the STAR method, right?
Mhm.
And so in the STARR, my name is Sapphire Star. My middle name is Star. I didn't make that up. And so my mom spelled star with two R's. And so the STAR method for financial freedom and building and creating wealth, the S stands for shift your money mindset. And we talked about that at the beginning on your discovery call is like, oh, what's your money story? And you shared with me your experience and how that has shaped your views around money negatively and positively, because there's some positive stuff there, but there are also some things that's like, ugh, you know what I mean? How can we improve this? But obviously our parents are um I feel like they didn't have the luxury that we have in terms of like thinking beyond just surviving.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have the luxury to be like, oh, how am I going to grow my money when they have to feed their kids and they're
Yeah.
getting by? It's like I can't be thinking about some like 2, 3 years from now when I can barely figure out how I'm going to take care of my kids today.
Okay.
And so, but these are all a part of our journey and our experiences and what our learned and unlearned behavior. So that S is shift your money mindset. The T stands for take action, right? And you're doing the things. You reached out to me and you started your journey. And so that's a part of that take action, the T in the framework. The A is allocating your income strategically. And that is essentially where the budgeting and the savings come
Hmm.
into place. And the R stands for reduce debt, repair credit. And this is where you are now in the framework is the R, reducing the debt, repairing the credit. And obviously, the two go hand in hand because when you reduce debt,
Yeah.
you're going to automatically your credit is automatically going to improve because you're making on-time payments
Hmm.
and you're decreasing your utilization, which the two of those alone makes up 65% of your credit score.
Yeah.
And so the beautiful thing about that is you're going to get to a place, what you're already doing is leveraging your credit to use other people's money to begin buying assets that's going to make money for you. And those assets could be another business. Maybe you can buy a business. Maybe you can start a business of your own. Maybe you can invest in real estate. So there's so many things that you can start leveraging and using other people's money, 0% interest. And right now we're leveraging that to pay down the debt. But imagine if you were able to borrow money at 0% interest and buy a business or buy real estate. And that real estate or that business that you purchase is going to pay the debt. So you don't have to pay the debt.
Yeah.
And then after the debt is paid off, you still have the business, you still have the real estate that is now paying you. So you can see how all these things are aligned and how you can kind of do them simultaneously while you're working in this journey. And so that then leads to the last R, which is real wealth begins with you. And that's investing in yourself, your skill set, and investing in real estate. And so, like I said, we are in the R, the first R of the framework, but this is essentially how that, and this is just a way for you to remember, okay, the journey. You know,
Yeah.
it's easy when we have when obviously when you're building a house, you got to put the foundation, you got to have the frame to hold the house up. So that's essentially how we go. So that's why the next step in this is the wealth creation strategies and what are some things that we could just kind of brainstorm some things about any ideas you may have or yeah, any ideas you may have about possibly assets that you can invest in or even your education in yourself if you want to because right now you have it's a paralegal business, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. And so maybe looking at ways at how you can grow and scale that business and
Yeah.
bring more income for that business. Who knows, you know? So we can definitely have like a brainstorming session around that.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. Stop screen, share screen. Yes. And so let's schedule our next call
Sure.
and we can either do that end of this month or the beginning of October? Because again, it's just giving you time to continue to do more of what you're already doing, especially with the adjustments for your budget. We could eat, like I said, we could either do it at the end of the month and kind of have that conversation as you're going in October, what adjustments you want to make
Yeah.
or things you want to do for October, or just go right into October.
Um, do you have anything for the 30th open?
Yes, the 30th will work. Same time, 10?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, awesome. The
Yeah.
30th, 10. Okay. And so, yes, that call, we can talk about the wealth building. Well, we can, you know, preparation for October was coming up, the budgeting and the wealth building strategy. And even because we'll have one more call after that,
Okay.
and we can have that brainstorming call strategy as well as term different things that you may be thinking about. So in preparation for that, you can just write down maybe some ideas you have in terms of assets and growing. And then by then we've already attended the mastermind class. So
Yeah.
if you have any additional questions or you want to, any different information you may need with that, I can definitely, we can go deeper into it.
Okay, no, that's fine. What things should I think about for the next um session? Like, I'm not sure what questions or ideas to think about to prep.
You mean the brainstorming?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ideas that you may have in terms of opportunities to increase your income or different investing opportunities when it comes to business, when it comes to real estate.
Okay.
Ideas you may have about scaling your business and opportunities where you can do that. Because obviously, if you can take what you have that's working, what are some things that you may add to it that can increase the revenue without actually taking you too far out of what you're already doing in terms of your time.
Okay.
Yeah. And even real estate, because I know you were interested in real estate. So any real estate questions you may have, feel free when it comes to real estate investing. What questions you may have in terms of, okay, what strategy? Because even a part of my group coaching that's coming up, people that register within a certain time period, they get a free one-on-one strategy call with me. So if you want to just take one of your calls and be like, oh, I want to do a strategy call in terms of real estate investing, in terms of like once you get into real estate, what type of real estate business do you want? Do you want to do fix and flip? Do you want to do long-term landlord? Do you want to do short-term rentals, mid-term rentals? Um,
Okay.
so thinking about even that for the future, just brainstorming some ideas of what you have in mind when it comes to investing outside of stock bonds, mutual
Yeah.
funds. So those are some things that we can talk about as well.
Have you ever invested in just a lot of land and just had it there?
I haven't, but I that is something I would like to do. I would like to buy land. I would like to homestead. And so
Mhm.
I would like to buy land and build several properties on it, but it's more or less for myself and my family, not necessarily something to flip, because I know people flip land all the
Because
time.
I was just like, there's so much land here that it's probably going to be gone soon. And I look at it like, oh, I wish I can just
Right.
invest in that land right now and make that flip later.
Yes, and land, like I said, people do that all the time where they buy land, they wholesale, they hold on to it. But buying land obviously is a whole different
Yeah.
approach and strategy because you have to understand and know, okay, can this land even be developed?
Hmm.
What's the process for that? And so, but people do it. Like I
Yeah.
haven't done it. I haven't done it for myself, but people do it all the time. So if that's something that you're thinking about, it's like, yeah, what does that look like and what that next step is for you if you want to start flipping land? So we can have that conversation because obviously you definitely want to get someone who does that.
Yeah.
and align yourself with them in your area. If not, even it doesn't even have to be in your market, but aligning yourself with someone who does that and understands how that works, that may be the next course of action with that. But also understanding that in terms of cash flow, because it really is really important to say what your goal is for
Mhm.
whatever you invest in. So if you like land, that may be a long-term play,
Yeah.
like stocks and bonds.
Mhm.
Um, and then or with real estate, when you get rentals, that's a play where it's like, oh, I got cash flow coming in now that can help
Mhm.
me. And someone else is paying down my debt. Someone else is paying for the investment. Like
Yeah.
someone else, your tenants are paying your mortgage. Not only are they paying your mortgage, you get the tax advantages. So you get to reduce your taxable income, which is saving because you're not taxed as much.
Mhm.
Have the appreciation aspect of it where it's growing in value,
Yeah.
right? And someone else is paying it. And then you also have the depreciation, which is another tax advantage where you can write off 27.2 years with cost segregation when it comes to the depreciation of the property,
Okay.
but you can write that stuff off immediately. So those are the opportunities for that. So saying, okay, what my goal is, and then reverse engineering it and say, okay, how do I make that happen and what that looks like? So
Okay.
again, yeah. So those are like some questions that you can have and that we can again dive deep into that and
Okay.
just start brainstorming because like I said, this is something that is like, okay, down the line, what can I
Yeah.
do? Or because the opportunity may present itself and you're like, okay, let me see where I am and what this looks like. And is this going to get me closer to my goal? You know what I mean? Like, does this idea help me get closer to my goal? Does this idea help improve my quality of life?
Okay.
These are the questions I have to ask, but we could just brainstorm.
Yeah. That sounds
Yeah.
good. I'll
Yeah.
start jotting down some questions
For
so we.
sure. For sure. I'll send you the link for the 30th
Okay.
or 10 a.m. And obviously, if anything comes up between now and then, please feel free to send me a text, send me an email, then I'll see you in class on the 25th as well.
I do have one quick question.
Sure.
Do you know of any um good life insurance companies?
I don't know of any in terms of who's better than the other.
Okay.
Um, because we use Countrywide,
Mhm.
but I believe obviously because when it comes to life insurance, it's also like the area you live in. And so
That's true.
one thing I would do is ask other people around you, oh, who do you have life insurance with? And see who the common person is
Okay. Yeah.
that everyone is going with to be like,
Mhm.
oh, how do you like this? To give you an idea of the most popular ones. So I would ask people who they
Okay.
use and then just start calling. Do you have life insurance now?
No, we need to look into it.
Okay, yeah. So definitely just the people start with your circle.
Mhm.
Like I said, I use Countrywide, but I'm not even sure if their reach is because every insurance is state by state.
Yeah.
So just start asking people around you, unless they're like national, but most of the time you do better with local companies than you do national ones.
Yeah, and a little cheaper probably.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, just like anything else, get the quotes,
Yeah.
ask the questions, you
Okay.
know, and then term life versus whole. I have term life
Mhm.
because the whole thing with life insurance, in my understanding, is insurance is there to mitigate the risk. So while you're working on, because you want to get to the point where you're self-insured, so you don't have to pay for insurance. So that's where the wealth building comes into place. But until you get in that position, at least you have something that you can use. So that's where term life comes in. But I know people who use insurance to invest.
Oh.
Universal life insurance policy. It can get real, you can borrow against it. But that is something as you're getting to your wealth building strategy that can come into place. But right now, if you had like term life or something for you, your husband, and your children,
That's it.
then that'll be great, especially when you're younger. The sooner to get that, the better. To lock that
Okay.
in for 30 years or something. And by 30 years, be like, all right, I'm self-insured. I'm good.
Okay. That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. Well, you get some rest
I'll try.
and enjoy the rest of your week.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
righty. See you later.